Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Journey. Today's video, we're going to be looking at this game kind of in its entirety. It seems like it's been taking an incredible amount of time to come in here and make progression content as an AFK game. We've seen the same that kind of fell in with AFK Arena, that it's taking a lot of times, and really going through the exploration doesn't really seem to be super time consuming, going through the regular and just kind of seeing how the game is being played. But looking at the AFK progression, this is one where, again, if you're grinding out some levels, you can do this when you first hop on like I just did today. You can also do it at the end. But when we start looking at the battle modes, this is the point where I feel like we are spending a ton of time now, and especially for an AFK game, where if we're coming in here, we're doing our dream realm, and again, to kind of be competitive within this game mode, looking at where we're at, let's go ahead and knock out one of our attacks. And again, this is kind of what I've been doing on a regular basis. Usually every day we hop in here, we set up our team. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any other artifacts. So we're going to set this up. We're going to go ahead and battle. And of course, King Croaker, we are linking merrily. A little bit of an older comp in here, which I'm going to have to see exactly the updated. I know there are a couple new artifacts in there, which through the regular campaign progression, we can actually go through unlock. But looking at this, looking at the PvP, looking at the Supreme Arena, then you add in the Labyrinth and the Towers, the time that it takes to do this is pretty incredible. Again, as an AFK game, I know players that are spending 3, 4, 5, 10 hours a day literally going here and doing stuff. I'm not sure exactly what there is to do at that point. But again, we're trying to limit the time that we're putting in here. And that's really the big thing that I do want to promote is they're going to have to take a lot of these game modes and essentially make them a lot easier. They're going to have to make them a lot faster. You can see right here with Smokey. Smokey has a massive aroma. So this aura that he actually has covers everybody. You can see we're at 1.4, almost 1.5 billion. Now, of course, we just unlocked Dura's Trials. And again, we're starting to make a little bit more progression in there, starting to get to the point where these heroes actually have the ability to grow. And honestly, when you look at the Dura's Trials, you're amplifying all of the stats that these heroes already have. So super, super important that you're going in and completing those Dura Trials. Now, of course, they are based on the AFK progression that you are making. So as you continue to kind of grind through here with the AFK progression, merrily our dazzling DPS right there, boom, we got a little bit more resources. And of course, we're 21. Again, I'm going to have to look at the teams that we're actually running in here. Now, in the arena, this is another place that you have to be kind of farming on a regular basis. And you'll also notice the weekly challenges. So this has actually been changed. So I haven't been farming this a lot, but this has been changed. Before, this was the victories. Now it is the challenges. That again is the big, big part. Now I want to say I might be able to get a couple more levels on some heroes. Let's hop and look at this actually before I go in here. Now I didn't do any levels yesterday. So I'm thinking with what we have from the AFK rewards this time, we should be able to an attack bonus by 16, a boost to the haste bonus, and of course, we have those heroes at Supreme Plus, and we're keeping and continuing to build up these heroes. And I know some players, I believe, is already maxed out in their entirety at this point. Even thinking damage-wise at a hero like Merrily, or even looking at Odie, getting them up much, much higher is going to make a big difference just based on how effective they're going to be. So unfortunately, nothing else in there, but let's see what we got. Let's open up these, and it looks like, again, our AFK experience, that we got a lot of gear. Again, we've been kind of farming on a regular basis. I've been trying to come in here and record videos kind of separate than going through and making progression and everything else. Decided it's time to really kind of put it together because I feel like we're kind of falling behind in a couple different places, which I'm hoping that this is going to help kind of catch it up. Now, of course, we're not forging any of the gear. So looking at the gold, and one thing that players quickly realized is when you look at the amount of gold, you don't get really anything for gold. It's unfortunately pretty sad to say, but when it actually comes to the gold that we're getting for heroes, we are getting next to nothing in there, which is kind of crazy. So let's go ahead, let's refresh this. I just attacked someone who is relative to my power. We go in here, this is the same formation that I've used, actually using Odie and using Cecilia in there. Now, of course, we have Timsy in here. Still need to build her out a little bit further. I feel like if we had a couple other heroes like Vela and a few other ones. Now, I also know that Florabelle does super well in PvP, which unfortunately, again, we don't have Florabelle really built up to the point that we could use her at. But overall, it looks like this is probably going to be a defeat. But if it's a win or a defeat, I'm not super worried about it at this point. Again, as we've been making a little bit of progression, we want to make sure that we're getting essentially through all of the content that we're having in here. Then, of course, there's trials. We get 3 of these trials. Haven't had any more AFK progression, so let's go ahead. Didn't use any tokens right there. So again, looking at the heroes that we kind of have the build up, win the battle with all heroes alive at the end. And again, most players have kind of put in the regular go-to heroes that we've seen. So we'll actually use these 2. We do have right here, we do have also built up quite a bit. The rest of these, not really at all. So I'm just going to drop another hero in here. We can even do some of the binding. A couple in here like the Quick Blade, I do really like. Again, might not be super effective in here, but we know damage-wise, this should be super easy with the raid floor. We do have to make a lot more progression. We want to make sure that we're using these Duras, the Dura Trial items every single time because we want to get the reward. So not only do we get the chest that we did, now of course we can go ahead and retry that. If you didn't hit it, you can retry. Now again, once you go ahead and you claim the rewards in here, that's it. You're pretty much done for the day. You can do that 3 times. Now again, we have to push AFK essentially on the AFK progression to unlock the rest of the floors in here. This is actually going to be a focus that I'm going to have to do again. We get our rewards in there. We could go ahead and retry. I'm going to go ahead and skip out of this one because again, we could go in here. We could do the tanks. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to actually make any more progression in here to get any of the exclusive charms. Now, Supreme Arena, I've actually been going in here, silly enough, is just going in here and fighting the top hero. That's just kind of been my focus, is really making 2 strong teams. So team 1 and team 2 being the strongest that I actually have in here. And then my 3rd team, I put whoever I kind of had left at that point. Not super effective with the game modes because I think overall you only need to win the first 2. Once you go in here and you get the first 2, I'm done. A lot easier to get through, again, the rest of the content just based on where we're at. And of course, looking at Smokey, but also looking at Odie. Odie is pretty broken in a lot of game modes. Corinne, unfortunately, we got rocked right there. And it looks like this is going to be a defeat. And overall, if I start kind of slowly farming up this game mode, it seems like it just takes an incredible amount of time to farm up a lot of the content with going through here. And essentially, again, just kind of picking a very, very strong opponent. If I go through and I win, and look at that. Looking right here at Floribel. So we cannot even kill Floribel's tank, which is kind of where we're stuck. We know Floribel is sitting in the back. We have the ranged hero right here. Thorin goes down. Boom, Floribel goes down. And we get a victory in there. Thank you, Smokey and Odie. They pulled it out. Very cool. Again, looking at Eron out here. Boom, got a ultimate right off the beginning. We're running Elsa in here. And of course, look at the spam from the sidelines, guys. But there we go. So we got victory number 2 in there. So we are going to go ahead and win this. And of course, we put Damon in here. Damon was actually one that we built out. There is his little entangled cart. We got the healing up here for Orin. And then, of course, we are running Floribel in here as well. Floribel, again, just kind of a pain in the butt hero overall because of how the hero works. So when you have a bunch of little minions running around, they actually become the target for a lot of this, which is the reason 1, 2, 3, we go ahead and defeat this. And again, that is why I've started in just going through here, pushing progression as much as we can, just based on the strongest hero. And again, daily rewards out of that one. Now, of course, looking at the Legends trial, this again is tower farming. So going through this, making sure that we're maximizing the time and effort that we're putting in here and farming out the towers. Now, of course, looking at, we'll go ahead and set this up for auto battle. So we got Igor a lot higher. We also got Viperon a lot higher, or Viper a lot higher. Also, we do have, as you can see, we have Cecilia in here. Igor, of course, we still need more copies of Igor. Finally got Thorin up to Supreme Plus, which makes me think going through here, we could probably make a ton of progression within these towers. And of course, we do have Sylvana. Sylvana's one that, for whatever reason, we have pulled a crazy amount of copies of Sylvana kind of over and over and over. I believe at this point, she is almost to Supreme Plus. We're just a couple copies away from actually getting her up to Supreme Plus. Now, we know tomorrow all of these towers are going to be open. So if you haven't farmed during the week, like I've been kind of slacking with, again, just really due to the time aspect, we can run in here and we can auto battle this, pick up a lot of different loot out of here, being able to make a lot more progression. And of course, picking up some of our forging stones out of there to go ahead, which I wish I had some more gold to do that. Then we get into the battle drills. Then we get into the honor duels. So battle drills, of course, this is an area that is guild focused. We've been working on this a lot of times. We actually had 2 bosses that were here. We are down to the final boss, which is the giant golem. So we went in here, we could do, and it looks like they do have the quick battles in here. I'm not sure exactly what the quick battle is going to do. I want to see. I haven't used the quick battle. I'm wondering, it's going to make me go ahead and set my team in here. Let's see. So we got Thorn in here. Thorn, I'm going to link to Odie. Hopefully we can do a lot more damage, and I'm not sure how much damage this guy puts out. Ooh, but I'm thinking, let's go damage. You know what? Let's go all out damage in here. Let's go with Cecilia. Again, I'm kind of thinking, let's drop Smokey in here. Let's drop Smokey in here. Then, of course, let's get the link. I feel like Smokey's going to be good for the damage. Again, this is a battle that I have not, unfortunately, fought yet, as you can see from the stamina. So let's see where we're going to score within here. So he does some crowd control right there. So you can see. So, of course, that's not going to make it super effective for Odie, which, again, Odie got everyone back up. So that was actually pretty easy. So we got Thorn up. We still got Mr. Carlisle up. But, yeah, look at the crowd control we're seeing here, guys. That is going to be a big, big difference. And, of course, we're pretty timed. So, yeah, we're going to have to see exactly what we can do, kind of maximize the effort in here. And unfortunately, Odie not going to be effective in this game mode really at all, just because of the crowd control. But he's still working okay. I mean, he's still getting enough to get everyone up. There's 1.3 billion damage in there. So we're going to have to hop in here and essentially kick a lot of, hopefully, percentage off of this guy. I'm going to have to see exactly the battle that we're going to be using, because I know a couple heroes in here, or a couple players have just been absolutely crushing it. And then, of course, we have, starting down here, we have the honor duel. This is another area where I feel like it's kind of asinine when it comes to the amount of time and effort that you're going in here. So going through doing the matches, this is something I feel like they're going to have to automate, which I feel the exact same when it comes to essentially the Arcane Labyrinth. They need to automate a lot of this. I know it might not be the most beneficial, but again, kind of thinking of where these heroes are and where the time and effort is essentially coming in. It's taking a long time. It is taking, I mean, we're at about 12, going on, 13 minutes already. And we haven't really done or really touched much of the game itself. So I could see where you could absolutely come in here, burn a couple hours just going through some of the content, making sure, again, that you're farming your towers, you're doing your AFK rewards, you're going through, again, a lot of the content that we have in here, and making sure, essentially, that you're maximizing the game mode to maximize the loot. With the loot, of course, you're going to get more rewards and kind of the never-ending cycle of what we see with the AFK game. So unfortunately, this one is going to be a defeat for the honor duel. And I think this is an old honor duel that I did, because as you can see, we still have a lot more to do in here. And again, we have 1 day to farm up, get a lot of victories, and also pick up our summons out of there. Then, of course, the Labyrinth. This is a place that I have been slacking. We are on 13 right now. You can see all of my explorers down here. This is another part, guys. When you talk about the time consumption coming in here and farming out the Labyrinth, it takes a lot of time going through all of these floors. And I'm not sure exactly what the end, I'm not sure if 15 is at the end or if it actually goes a little bit further. I'm thinking it probably does go quite a bit further in there. Then, of course, this is just the battle modes. That is literally all that we went through, and all that we looked at was the battle modes. You still have the time and effort it's going to take you essentially to go through all of the content when it comes to the actual overworld, which is the reason why a lot of players are saying it's very, very time consuming, and I can see exactly where it's coming from. And for myself, it is the exact same. To log in and spend, 30 minutes to an hour here every single day going through the content, it's been taking a lot of time. And unfortunately, yesterday, I actually didn't do much. Again, didn't do much as far as the progression in this game. Definitely wanted to hop on today and continue going through and seeing exactly what we needed to do to go in here. And I'm going to have to circle back, again, farm up a lot of the content that we have going on right now, and make sure that we're pushing. And look how far that is, guys. That's going to be a long walk down here because, of course, we can't teleport at this point. But I also have the AFK progression, gaining all of those levels. We're going to have to go ahead and make a lot more progression in there. Definitely going to have to go in and fight the boss a lot more because, again, yesterday definitely slacked off when it came to the content, and AFK Journey and AFK Arena just the same. Took a lot more. But all right, guys. So that is going to do it. Let's see if we unlock this waystone in here, which we did. There we go. But that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the time it is taking to grind AFK Journey. And as always, thank you guys for watching.